In Week 2 NFL action, the Green Bay Packers will visit the Minnesota Vikings. A few weeks ago, this would have been the biggest game of Week 2 by a large margin, with Minnesota's loss of Teddy Bridgewater to a shredded knee injury. However, it may have more intrigue now, as the Minnesota Vikings are looking to remind everyone that it was the NFC North champion last year. Both teams are off to 1-0 starts with road victories, so this division rivalry game in primetime on Sunday night should be a good barometer for both sides. Green Bay is the road favorite, but this will be a line to watch throughout the week. This will be the first game at the brand new US Bank Stadium. Secondary market ticket prices are out of control, and fans will be rallying around a Vikings team that is already facing adversity this year, so it will be quite an atmosphere on Sunday night. Aaron Rodgers is as cool a player as there is in the NFL, but this will be a special night for the Vikings, and it could very well play a role in the outcome. The Green Bay Packers are back on the road this week, although it's a short trip to Minneapolis. After this game, Green Bay won't play away from Lambeau Field until October 30th, so that's a wagering angle to keep in mind. For stretches of the game in Jacksonville, it wasn't pretty, but Green Bay did come away with the win. The Packers settled for 2 red zone field goals and were outgained in the game. Aaron Rodgers was just 20 of 34 for 199 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he did avoid negative plays and did not turn the ball over. There wasn't much explosion to the Packers' offense. Eddie Lacy had 28 of his 61 yards on 1 carry and had a 17-yard catch and run. Jordy Nelson's longest reception was just 8 yards. The Packers only averaged 9.9 yards per catch. Those are concerning developments with the game coming up against a very physical and disciplined Minnesota defense. Green Bay's defense had a mixed bag of results in its first game. TJ Yeldon only had 39 yards on 21 carries, and the Packers held the Jaguars to 1.8 yards per carry. But Blake Bortles threw for 320 yards on just 24 completions. Receivers were running free all over the field, but Bortles missed some throws and was also sacked 3 times. 4 of the 7 receivers that caught passes for Jacksonville averaged more than 11 yards per catch. The Packers did buckle down in the red zone, where Jacksonville settled for 2 field goals on 3 trips. Jacksonville was also just 4 of 15 on 3rd down, but 3 of 4 on 4th down. There were positives and negatives for Green Bay's defense, but it's hard to see Sam Bradford and the Vikings exploiting a lot of those negatives. We figured it would be a struggle for the Vikings on offense early on in the season. It most certainly was against the Tennessee Titans. Minnesota barely managed 300 yards in the game and averaged less than 5 yards per play. Adrian Peterson couldn't find running room, which is probably foreshadowing for the next several weeks. Peterson had 31 yards on 19 carries as Tennessee loaded the box and dared Shaun Hill to throw. When Shaun Hill did throw, he was 18 of 33 for 236 yards. Stefon Diggs looked good with 7 catches for 103 yards. Minnesota did get into the red zone 3 times, but they didn't score any offensive touchdowns in this game. Even though the offense failed to score, it was a really decent performance given the circumstances. However, it was the Vikings defense that won the game. Eric Kendricks had a 77-yard pick 6, and Danielle Hunter had a scoop and score early in the 4th quarter to effectively put the game away. Minnesota trailed 10-0 at halftime and won the second half 25-6. There's a lot of character on this team that's not necessarily quantifiable right now, but it's going to carry this team through the hard times with Bridgewater out. The Vikings are going to win this game on Sunday night against the Packers. Take the 2.5 or take the money line, whichever you prefer. But this is a team that has a rallying cry, a physical, mean defense, and a lot of discipline. The entire idea on offense now is to avoid negative plays and turnovers. Guess what? That was the same plan under Teddy Bridgewater. Maybe Minnesota won't be as potent offensively, but they'll keep doing what they do best. They play defense and they don't hurt themselves. With a loud home crowd in a brand new venue and a Green Bay team that did not look that great last week, this is setting up to be a big night for the Minnesota Vikings. Our pick is the Minnesota Vikings at +2. For our pick and prediction on this game and every other game this week, and a wealth of free stats and information, check out bangthebook.com.